China's economic evolution. From Mao to market superpower China, once a landlocked in famine and isolation, now a titan of global trade and innovation. This is not just a story of GDP and growth rates. This is a story of how a once impoverished agrarian society transformed itself into the second largest economy in the world. In this comprehensive overview, we will explore the economic arc of the People's Republic of China, its ideological roots, its painful revolutions, and its miraculous rebirth as a global powerhouse. Chapter 1. The Maoist beginning 1949 to 1976, when Mao Zedong declared the foundation of the People's Republic of China in 1949, the country was war-torn, fragmented, and economically backward. The Communist Party of China (CPC), inspired by Marxist-Leninist ideology, sought to remake the nation into essentially planned socialist economy. The state nationalized all major industries, redistributed land to peasants, and eliminated private enterprise. While these actions temporarily boosted rural output, they also removed market incentives and centralized economic decisions under bureaucratic control. The Great Leap Forward 1958-1962, perhaps the most catastrophic economic campaign in China's history. The Great Leap Forward aimed to rapidly transform China into an industrialized socialist society. Communes replaced private farms, backyard furnaces were built to boost steel production, but unrealistic quotas, poor planning, and falsified reports led to a man-made famine. It's estimated that 30 to 45 million people died. During this period, the Cultural Revolution 1966 to 1976, after the failure of the Great Leap, Mao launched another campaign, the Cultural Revolution. This ideological purge targeted intellectuals, capitalist sympathizers, and even moderate communist leaders. Economic planning ground to a halt, universities closed, skilled workers were persecuted, the entire economy stagnated. When Mao died in 1976, China was economically exhausted with low productivity, outdated technology, and an isolated position on the world stage. Chapter 2. Deng Xiaoping and the Economic Miracle 1978 to 1990s. Enter Deng Xiaoping, a pragmatic reformer who reshaped China's future. His guiding mantra: it doesn't matter whether a cat is black or white, as long as it catches mice. Deng launched a series of revolutionary reforms that would lay the groundwork for China's explosive growth. The household responsibility system, collective farming, was dismantled. Farmers were allowed to keep and sell surplus crops after fulfilling state quotas. This reignited agricultural productivity and lifted millions out of poverty. Special economic zones as easy to attract foreign investment and test market principles. Deng opened coastal cities like Shenzhen, Zhuhai, and Xiamen. These SEZ became laboratories for capitalism within a socialist framework. Foreign capital poured in, factories boomed, and export-led manufacturing took off. Opening to the world, China joined the International Monetary Fund (IMF) and the World Bank. Diplomatic ties with the U.S. improved. Western corporations began setting up operations in China, lured by cheap labor and massive market potential. The results: between 1978 and 1992, China's economy doubled. Tens of millions were lifted out of poverty. A massive new middle class began to form. Deng's reforms had unleashed a sleeping dragon. Chapter 3. From factory of the world to tech giant 2000s to 2020s. The 2000s marked China's transition from low-cost manufacturing to high-tech development and global trade dominance. WTO membership 2001. Joining the World Trade Organization was a game-changer. It cemented China's integration into the global economy. Tariffs fell. Exports soared. China became the world's largest exporter of goods. Urbanization and infrastructure. Massive investment in infrastructure turned rural provinces into urban hubs. High-speed rail networks, superhighways, and megacities emerged. Migrant labor fueled construction in cities like Shanghai, Beijing, and Guangzhou became global power centers. Technology and innovation. Companies like Huawei, Tencent, Alibaba, and BYD began outpacing Western rivals. China invested heavily in R&D, artificial intelligence, green energy, and electric vehicles. The Made in China 2025 plan aimed to dominate advanced manufacturing sectors. Middle class boom. Hundreds of millions entered the consumer class. Shopping malls, e-commerce platforms, and luxury brands flooded the market. Chinese tourists and investors became global players. Challenges emerged, but rapid growth brought inequality, corruption, and environmental damage. Real estate speculation created housing bubbles. Industrial pollution choked cities. Local government debt ballooned. Still, the momentum continued. Chapter 4. Xi Jinping's economic vision to 01 to present. Under Xi Jinping, China entered a new era of centralized power and economic recalibration. Anti-corruption campaign. Xi's sweeping crackdown on corruption aimed to consolidate power and restore public trust. Thousands of officials were prosecuted, sending a message that the CPC would tolerate no internal dissent. Dual circulation strategy. In response to trade tensions with the U.S., China began focusing on internal circulation, boosting domestic demand, self-reliance in technology, and reducing dependency on global markets. Common prosperity. Xi introduced policies to narrow the wealth gap, rein in tech monopolies, and crack down on speculation. This included heavy regulation of education, property, and digital sectors. Belt and Road Initiative BRI, launched in 2013, the BRI aimed to build global infrastructure linking Asia, Africa, and Europe. It expanded China's geopolitical reach and opened new markets for trade. Challenges in Xi's era: aging population and declining birth rates, increasing U.S. China tech and trade tensions, mounting local government debt, COVID-19 disruptions, and real estate collapses, e.g. Evergrande. Still, China remained resilient, adapting policy and shifting focus from quantity to quality of growth. Chapter 5. China's global economic footprint. The second largest economy. China's GDP surpassed $17 trillion in 2021. It became the second largest economy behind the United States, and by purchasing power parity (PPP), it often ranks first. Global trade links. China is the largest trading partner for over 120 countries. Its exports span electronics, machinery, textiles, furniture, and increasingly, green technology. Investment abroad. Chinese firms and banks invest in Africa, Southeast Asia, Latin America, and Europe. From mines and ports to railroads and 5G networks, China's reach is everywhere. The yuan's rise. China has pushed for internationalization of the renminbi yuan, seeking alternatives to the dollar-dominated financial system. Digital yuan experiments and currency swap agreements signal its ambitions. Tech diplomacy. With firms like Huawei and TikTok, China is exporting not just goods, but platforms and standards. Its influence in digital infrastructure raises concerns in the West and inspires emulation elsewhere. Conclusion. A balancing act. China's economic story is one of contrast and complexity. From rural communes to urban megacities, from ideological purity to pragmatic capitalism, China has shown a capacity for transformation unmatched in modern history. Yet, the challenges ahead are real: demographic decline, energy transition, rising authoritarianism, and geopolitical pressure. Still, China's economy continues to adapt, evolve, and influence the world. Whether it ascends to become the undisputed global economic leader or stabilizes as a powerful counterweight remains to be seen. One thing is certain: no serious conversation about the 21st century global economy can exclude China.